Hi, a big congratulations to both of you.
Thank
Today,
you.
Mivan is completing his therapies and discharging from here. But we would like to know how it all started, what all symptoms you noticed initially.
First of all, a big thanks, for any parent to get the child gradually out of this is always a milestone to look at. And when we talk about how it started, Mivan's journey goes a little, back, real back, which is approximately 3 years
Yep.
for now.
Yep.
And we observed it during the COVID.
The COVID
actually.
times, yeah.
This is when and we have twin boys, and we realized to see that how their milestones are moving differently. And Mivan started to show some regression, while in both of my boys he was the first one to pick up on activities, whether it is speaking, whether it is feeding, whether it is walking, and all of a sudden he started to regress. And this is where it gave me a different hint that something is not going right. And being COVID, there isn't much that we could do that time, but post COVID and when we moved here, during one of his pediatric checkup is when one of the doctor realized and affirmed it to us that there is something that this boy needs attention on, and that's when we got to know about you.
Yeah.
But few common things that we observed in Mivan that time was that he's not making an eye contact. He is not responding many a times when he is being called. He will not chew his food, he will gulp. Okay, and then he would have certain anger tantrums which are beyond control, where he would throw his legs, throw weight, and would not be listening to you. Then he would also show some inferiority many a times when he's not able to do something. He would not let go of us as well.
Right.
When we tried to put him into a school, he would cry for endless hours unless we are back. He had social anxiety. We could not even invite anybody at our home.
Right.
Not speaking had become a common feature.
Correct.
Forming patterns, doing things in a specific way was a very common thing that with Mivan, it has to be done this way only. If he's eating, he has to first take a round, then only will he eat. If he's going to a park, he will first go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, then only does his park round goes really completed. So these were some very common things which obviously stand out for you because you have 2 children, you are able to see, and even if you don't have 2 children, then also you get to know that there is something different that your child is doing. And it's rather better to accept than deny, because denial is always easy. The good thing is that sooner you accept, the
The better
better
for you.
the chances
Yeah.
are that you are able to give that kind
At
of.
what age you started with the therapies?
So Mivan started his therapy at the age of 4, and the realization kicked into us around 3.25 is when we were in COVID zone. But as soon as we were out of COVID and we shifted our places, the very first thing we did was this intervention.
Getting into therapy.
Yeah.
And उसकी कोई स्पीच थी उससे पहले, थेरेपी स्टार्ट करने से पहले?
बहुत थोड़ी, मैंने कहा सबसे पहले इन दोनों में से उसी ने बोलना शुरू किया था. मम्मा, पापा. He would call me at work and he will say आ जाओ. But the regression also started. So that was the only speech, but he completely had let go of it. He would say academic things, A, B, C, D. He would say 1, 2, 3, 4. There was no conversation, no communication ever existed.
Even eye contact.
For
Yeah.
mama, papa, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he would know who are mama and papa, but calling them as mama, papa, not necessarily, right? So that's how it was.
So when you started with the therapies, speech कब से आनी start हुई?
Speech took time, and I'll be very honest, because I think when his curriculum was prepared, we started with OTs, because the body was also, it was like Mivan used to throw his legs when he was running. His body used to look that it's going probably the swinging way versus the subtle, the body that the figure should be. So those OT therapies have kind of regulated and controlled, so we started with that. Secondly, that alternatively speech, like you introduced a little later, because we wanted to take baby steps and gradually move towards his readiness towards it. Mivan was a stubborn child. For him, wearing a specific kind of shoes was his concern.
Right.
Not wearing socks, be it 0 degrees outside, was his stubbornness. And I remember initial few days how much did we struggle. I used to bring him, I used to sit with him during his sessions, because he would not sit through them. And stranger, like I said, anxiety was much high. But we introduced speech little later. And then, I always used to have those pangs. He's not picking up. Is he going to say anything
True.
ever? And even if we started, let's say, 11th month of therapies, when we started to introduce speech on a greater pace, he did not respond immediately. He took his own time, right? There are a lot of things that you have to do with a child. And then we also tried to do at home. And I'll be honest in saying that as well, that, when you are a working parent, you try and make sure as much time as you want to give, but there isn't 100% that you can always do. And this is when you learn that there is something you are already doing for the child.
Right.
So if you are enabling the system, let's trust the system.
Correct.
So let's have your parents party to it. Let's see how as a couple you can be party to it. Let's see how your friends can be party to it. And what is it that you want to change for the child? So and one of my leaders said, and I always remember this, it takes a village to raise a child. And it definitely does. And anybody and everybody should really be focusing on that.
Trust is a bigger thing, right? I mean, once the parents start to trust the process, I think the moment everything has changed.
Absolutely, because like you said, that speech took time.
Yes,
to
it
develop.
does.
And there must be phases when doubt prevails.
Yes.
That whether speech will come, whether
Not
this
yet.
is working or not. But what made you to remain consistent? Because I actually never saw you putting up questions that whether we should change the center or we should change the therapist or we should change the approach. Never. You just remain consistent with what I suggested you.
Yeah.
See, to be honest, it may not come in front of you, but we always used to discuss, right? Okay, we are not seeing progress, right? Should we change? Should we have a second opinion? Should we do that? But at the end of the day, the same thing. We also came to conclusion that okay, let's trust the process, right? Let's see how we actually, we need to give some time, right, to the child also, right? He's growing on the growing up age, so let's trust the process, give himself room, and then everything will be fine. So we had that. And
I know, and it's not a fever which will go overnight, or it might take 2 pills and then you're done with it. And maybe when you ask me this question, as a parent, as a mother, I always felt that pata nahi if it is working or not. But since I am also an educated individual, maybe my education in psychology has also helped me understand this, that this process is not easy. If I have accepted, I need to give it time. I have seen so many parents leave in the interim thinking that 2 months gone, nothing is working, 3 months gone, nothing is working. It doesn't work that easy. When you start a job, do you really understand what you're supposed to do in the second day of joining? You don't. You understand, you probably take your own time and you start doing it on the 3rd month or a 4th month, and people take years to excel.
Right.
So why would you not give a child his or her own time to do things? Don't trust the process if you think that the other side is not doing anything at all. But at least give them some credit. People may say things, but your inner self needs to believe in what you say. So that's why I wanted to partner more instead of questioning.
At least that trust and that support should be there.
Yes.
Because if somebody is putting efforts,
Yes.
Definitely, and
Correct.
effort has to be put from both the sides.
Both the sides. And I'll be honest in telling you, my father used to bring me one after I could not. And he used to say this in the beginning of it, पता नहीं कुछ हो भी रहा है या नहीं, ये तो अंदर बैठ के बस कुछ ABCD करते रहते हैं, ये तो अंदर बैठ के बस 2 शब्द बोलते हैं. But then he understood. Today the situation is, guys, if you are listening to me, we have to honestly ask Mivan to stop talking. We have to say, Mivan, for some time please sit idle. Beta, it's okay to not talk. It's okay to not ask. It's okay to stop your questions. And then also he will say, but why? So, that's the stage. If you want to reach, give some time to the process.
And today he is going to a regular school.
He's going to a regular, and that was again, an eye-opener. We actually, as a parent, went to a school where there was inclusiveness included, and he was being assessed, where the school said he does not need special ed, he needs to be in mainstream. And we were not ready as a parent. No, he doesn't need mainstream, he needs to go. So, and this is where teacher said, you know what, he's absolutely fine. I could not believe the test paper he has filled in. I asked the teacher, did you give him some different kind of pencil kya? He said, she must be thinking, his ma is completely crazy. Like, what different pencil will I give to the child to write here? So she was like, no, it's like a regular HB pencil. Because Mivan had issues with gripping as well. A lot of issues.
Not interested in
No,
writing.
he has skipped writing. Hindi was his most unliked subject. And today Mivan is able to narrate a poem in Hindi. They do every week dictation tests in class.
Spell
Be
bee.
it English, be it Hindi, Mivan gets it every time.
He's
So
a spell bee jam.
he's a
He's performing on stage.
yeah, he's performing on stage, and that's where it is coming across. So, like I said, it's just give the child the wings, and
Right.
he will do it.
Right.
She will do it. Just be the right, advocate of things. Do not listen to others. Listen to what do you think works for you. That's it. What's working for the child will anyways work for the child, because he's there already. He understands what is happening there, right? So you need to keep having that trust, and that's how it works.
Thank you so much.
You're most
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.